right now. Something bigger than any dinosaur is alive. It's swimming in our ocean. Its heart weighs 1,500 pounds. Its tongue weighs as much as an elephant. And it survives on creatures you could crush with 2 fingers. Most people think dinosaurs were the biggest animals ever. They're wrong. The largest creature in Earth's 4.5 billion year history is alive today. But here's what will really blow your mind. It almost went extinct. Not from an asteroid, not from an ice age, from us. The ocean has always built giants. Something about water just removes all limits. The weightlessness, the endless food, the infinite space. Life grows to insane proportions. Over 500 million years, the sea created monsters that make Hollywood look unimaginative. We're going to meet 5 of them, from the oldest to the one swimming right now. Each one pushed the limits of what a living body can be, and each one proves that nature has no size limit. Let's start 220 million years ago. Dinosaurs were just getting started on land. All continents were smashed into one supercontinent, Pangaea, and one massive ocean, Panthalassa, wrapped around the entire planet. In that ancient water lived something unexpected. Not a shark, not a whale, a reptile. Shastasaurus was the largest marine reptile ever discovered, 70 feet long. That's bigger than a modern sperm whale, comparable to an adult humpback. But here's the twist. This giant wasn't a terrifying predator. Its snout was long, narrow, and almost toothless. Scientists figured out something wild. Shastasaurus was a suction feeder. It hunted by snapping its jaws open super fast. That created a powerful vacuum. Squid, small fish, tiny cephalopods all got sucked straight down its throat. Think of how a seahorse feeds. Now scale that up to a 70-foot reptile. Nature never tried that experiment again at this size. Shastasaurus looked like a giant torpedo. Streamlined body, 4 short flippers, a crescent-shaped tail. It belonged to a group called ichthyosaurs, and these creatures deserve way more respect than they get. Ichthyosaurs were the first reptiles to fully return to the ocean. Their bodies evolved the same torpedo shape as tuna and dolphins. Completely different animals arriving at the same design. Biologists call this convergent evolution. It's nature's way of saying, this shape just works. They gave live birth tail first, exactly like modern dolphins. Some species were warm-blooded. Some had eyes the size of soccer balls, the biggest eyes of any vertebrate ever. They dominated the oceans for over 160 million years. That's longer than mammals have existed. Shastasaurus vanished about 200 million years ago. A mass extinction wiped it out along with most of the Triassic ecosystem. But it left behind a legacy. It proved the ocean could support reptiles the size of whales. Now the ocean needed a new apex predator, and boy did it deliver. About 160 million years ago, the Jurassic seas belonged to plesiosaurs. Specifically, the short-necked, big-headed kind called pliosaurs, and the most famous, Leopleurodon. Let's clear something up first. That old BBC documentary showed Leopleurodon at 80 feet long. That number was exaggerated. Real fossils put it at 20 to 23 feet. Not as dramatic. Right, wrong. 20 feet of pure muscle, with a skull nearly 5 feet long. That's a quarter of its entire body, just head. Its teeth were 12 inches each, not made for slicing, made for grabbing and crushing. Biomechanics experts calculated its bite force. It was comparable to the largest crocodiles ever, but multiplied by a body weighing several tons. Leopleurodon could grab a shark and crack it like a walnut. And it gets bigger. In 2004, on the Arctic archipelago of Svalbard, something incredible happened. Scientists found a pliosaur skeleton nicknamed Predator X, later named Pliosaurus funke. This thing was 33 to 43 feet long. Its skull alone measured 6 to 8 feet, one of the largest marine predators in history. The excavation itself was insane. Arctic tundra, permafrost, polar bears roaming nearby. The skeleton was frozen solid in the ground. Workers used jackhammers and heat guns. They could clear only inches per day. It took multiple field seasons. But the result? One of the most complete large pliosaur skeletons ever found. CT scans of the skull revealed something chilling. The smell centers of its brain were massive. This predator hunted by sniffing blood in the water from hundreds of yards away. In murky Jurassic seas, its nose was better than its eyes. And their feeding habits? Fossilized poop contained bones of other marine reptiles. Ichthyosaurs, smaller plesiosaurs, they ate everything that moved, including each other. Paleontologists found pliosaur bones with tooth marks from other pliosaurs. Cannibalism wasn't the exception, it was the norm. The Jurassic Ocean was simple, size was everything. The only defense against a pliosaur was being a bigger pliosaur. Fast forward about 140 million years, the reptiles are gone. And now the ocean's top predator is a fish, the biggest predatory shark that ever lived. Megalodon ruled from 23 million to about 3.5 million years ago, 50 to 60 feet long, weighing 50 to over 100 tons. But the raw numbers don't tell the real story. Megalodon specialized in hunting whales. Let that sink in. Its prey were already giants. This puts Megalodon in a category all its own, a super predator that ate super animals. Nothing like it existed before, nothing like it has existed since. Its body temperature stayed around 95 to 104 degrees grade. That's closer to a mammal than a fish. This warm blood gave it incredible speed and stamina. It could hunt in any water temperature on Earth. But that superpower became its death sentence. A warm body needs massive amounts of food. When ocean temperatures dropped during the Pliocene, whale populations shifted and scattered. Megalodon couldn't find enough prey. Its size, its warm blood, its need for whale-sized meals, everything that made it king became a fatal weakness. Its teeth are the most common large predator fossils in the world, found on every continent. From North Carolina beaches to the floor of the Mariana Trench. Each tooth the size of your hand, a calling card from a creature that ruled the world's oceans for 20 million years. Now here's where things get truly strange, because our next giant isn't a reptile or a fish, it's a relative of yours. Basilosaurus lived about 34 to 40 million years ago. Its name means king lizard. That's one of the most misleading names in science. It wasn't a lizard at all. It was a mammal, one of the earliest whales, and it was staggeringly huge, 65 to 80 feet long, comparable to a modern fin whale, just slightly smaller than a blue whale. But its body looked nothing like modern whales. Imagine a sea serpent. That's basically what Basilosaurus was. An absurdly long snake-like body, a small head, and tiny, tiny hind legs. Legs the size of a human hand, completely useless for swimming. Those little legs were leftovers from its land-walking ancestors. Just 20 million years before Basilosaurus, its ancestor Pakicetus looked like a wolf. 4 legs, fur, hooves on its feet. It hunted fish in shallow water like an otter. Over 10 million years, evolution reshaped everything. Legs became flippers, tails became flukes, nostrils migrated to the top of the skull, becoming blowholes. Basilosaurus was the end result. Fully aquatic, could never return to land. But still carrying those tiny vestigial legs, the most eloquent proof of evolution you'll ever see. Basilosaurus was a predator with differentiated teeth. Sharp front fangs for grabbing, serrated side teeth for slicing flesh. It ate large fish, sharks, and smaller whales. Scientists found Dorodon remains inside a Basilosaurus stomach. Dorodon was another ancient whale about 16 feet long. It ate its own relatives, the first in a long line of predatory whales. And its methods were brutal: grab, crush, swallow. But here's the wildest part. Its brain was tiny, way smaller than modern whales of similar size. No complex social behavior, no echolocation, no higher intelligence. Basilosaurus was basically a giant carnivorous machine with a small brain, the marine T-Rex of its era. Whale intelligence came much later in its more advanced descendants. And that brings us to the finale, the creature alive right now, the one that makes every giant before it look modest. The blue whale, the largest animal in the entire 4.5 billion year history of life on Earth. Not the largest marine animal, not the largest mammal, the largest animal, period. Up to 110 feet long, weighing up to 420,000 pounds. Its heart is the size of a small car, about 1,500 pounds. Its aorta is so wide a human child could swim through it. Its tongue alone weighs as much as an adult elephant, around 6,000 pounds. When it surfaces and exhales, its spout shoots 30 feet into the air, visible from miles away. And its voice? Blue whales produce the loudest sound of any living creature. Their low-frequency calls hit 188 decibels. That's louder than a jet engine at arm's length. Those sounds travel over 600 miles through the ocean. A whale singing off Antarctica can be heard near the equator. A newborn blue whale is already a giant, 700 pounds at birth, 23 feet long. That's the size of a full-grown African elephant, and it's a baby. Mom's milk is 50% fat, cow milk about 4%. On that rocket fuel, the calf gains 200 pounds a day, 8 pounds every single hour. And what fuels the largest animal in history? Krill, a shrimp-like crustacean about 2 inches long. The blue whale gulps up to 1,100 pounds of krill in a single mouthful, filters the water through baleen plates, swallows the tiny creatures. Up to 9,000 pounds of krill per day, about 40 million individual animals. The biggest creature ever, powered by animals you could squish between your fingers. There's a cosmic irony in that. Blue whale gigantism is actually recent. Its ancestors 3.5 million years ago were dolphin-sized. Ice ages reshaped ocean currents, krill concentrated in massive seasonal blooms. Bigger whales could swim farther, dive deeper, gulp more water. Evolution favored size, and size exploded. But gigantism has a price. Blue whales depend entirely on krill. And krill populations are crashing. Warming oceans are shrinking Antarctic ice where krill breeds. Some studies show Antarctic krill biomass has dropped 80% since the 1970s. We already almost killed the blue whale once. Industrial whaling in the 20th century slaughtered 30,000 blue whales per year at its peak. The population crashed from around 300,000 to fewer than 5,000 by the mid-1960s. Steam-powered ships and explosive harpoons turned whale hunting from dangerous craft into factory assembly line. The 1966 international whaling ban saved the species, barely. Today, between 10,000 and 25,000 blue whales remain, still a fraction of what once existed, still listed as endangered. It survived ice ages, survived climate catastrophes, it survived millions of years of natural selection, but it nearly didn't survive us. 5 creatures, 5 eras. Shastasaurus, the toothless torpedo of the Triassic. Pliosaurs, the flying killers of the Jurassic. Megalodon, the warm-blooded whale hunter. Basilosaurus, the snake-shaped whale with leftover legs. And the blue whale, the biggest animal that ever drew breath, alive right now. Each was built by its era. Each was destroyed or nearly destroyed when that era ended. The ocean has always built giants. The question is whether we'll let it keep building them. Because an ocean without giants isn't an ocean, it's an aquarium.